Yeah, this is Bang Bang Rahil. Please press the like button and subscribe. Yeah, just talking about the fruit market, mate. And yeah, I was talking to a couple of mates of mine today that was down the fruit market with me. One of the guys comes here, brings me all fruit, apples, oranges, bananas, grapes, cherries, big, big watermelons and pears. It brings me so much fruit, yeah. And just sort of like, he doesn't really know me, but his dad knows me, yeah. So he was talking about the old times. So I said, "What you want to know? What it was like?" I said, "Listen, mate. Let me tell you something. Right, when I first get into the food market, it was all about fighting, looking after yourself, and everybody in that market. When I was in there, it was all fighters, mostly fighters, and you had a sort of like you had a place called the Old Eel Store. Where you go there and you get your eels, you get your big bowl of eels, you get your bit of bread, you get your salt, you get your pepper, you get your vinegar, you put all over your eels, and you stand there eating it. I used to love eels, man. I didn't like it at first. I thought when I heard about eels, but when I got into it, I loved it. It's called the Old Eel Stall. You have block one, block two, block three, block four, block five, block six. You know what I mean? It had all these different blocks and all that. It was good. It was really good, the market, mate. And everybody in there was all gangsters and villains, and everybody was walking around the scarf and flat cap and the old Dr. Martens on, and the old stay trousers and the jeans and all that. It's good. All that's youngers bouncing about, causing plenty of problems, having plenty of fights in there. And I just telling him what it was like. And he said, my dad reckons that he was a bit heavy in a way, that he was always fighting. I said, yeah, I was always fighting, never stopped. That's how I learnt a lot. I love my fighting. I just loved it. I love fighting any greengrocers. I fight lots of people in the stands. I mean, listen, there were some people in there, mate, that you could come unstuck. You could come right unstuck with, you know what I mean? And I've always said it before, but I was sort of telling him a story about the Welleses. You had the Welleses in there, and the Wellses, Cracknells, the Knowles. You had the Collinses. You had people in there. You had Martin Worsfold. You had listen, Ginger Carlisle. You had Derek Pierce. Yeah, I mean, you have people in there. These people won't know these faces, but let me tell you something. All these people I've just mentioned, yeah, was really, really bad people. Could really have it, you know what I mean? And I mean, there was two in there. Kenny Barber, Kenny Griffiths, that were Aikido black belts. I think there was about what 6 dan, 7 dan black belts. No one really much about them. I mean, they was very quiet, very normal dress people, more normal dresses, boots, just normal jeans, hat, and normal, just normal, really, as a fruit market, yeah. But no flashness about them. Didn't walk about being flash. But listen, everybody in that market, I'm on about Colin Cracknell, I'm on about Martin Worsfold, Dirk Pierce, the Wellses, and all them people knew not to muck about them. I hold my hands up to Mickey Null, young Mickey. No, was it? Yeah, Mickey. I think it was Mickey Null, or his brother Steve Null. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, but one of them done Aikido. He trained with them, mate. He become unbelievable what he'd done. I mean, he was fantastic. I mean, he was, I mean, he was the same age as me, but he learnt a lot. He was always learning. And I used to see him hit the bags. Not all about bags, like proper boxing bags, but potato bags and cabbage bags and all these things, and smash them to pieces. Yeah. And in the market, it's all about power. I mean, I see, when I went in there, I was on a big company called Northsides. I learnt a lot from Colin Cracknell. We was always fighting in there, always fighting. But I learnt a lot, like lifting big weights, lifting big bags of potatoes, a big 112-pound bag of potatoes you put on your head, big sacks of potatoes, sacks, yeah. The potato bags come in later, but when I first went there, it was all sacks, the big sacks, yeah. I think it was about £112. And they grab big orange boxes, 3 tiers, big 3 tier orange boxes. Those about £100, £112. And to nut them, put them on your head, put them on your shoulder, onto your head, and up the ladder, and stack them up. And listen, let me tell you something. It's not. The job was unbelievably hard. Yeah, it took me a long, long time to learn how to hold the potatoes and things like that. And listen, that's the greatest job in the world, mate. Believe me, you know what I mean. It's proper gangsterism, yeah. Really, I'm telling you. The amount of people you meet in there. You get people selling watches, selling rings. Darky Warren, one of the guys' names, Darky Warren, he used to sell the gold sovereigns, half sovereign rings, the watches, gold watches, and everybody be buying them off him. And you buy the hats, you buy the Dr. Martens, the Staples jeans, trousering, the jeans, Levi jeans, and all that. Yeah, everybody in there was always buying something because everybody was earning money. I mean, I had a little firm in there. There was a firm of us in there that was thieves. I was a young kid, and we used to thieve every night because I was a night porter, and we used to go around all the stands, breaking into the stands, nicking whatever we could. And the best one to get in was Dean's. Dean's was not greengrocers. It wasn't a greengrocer at all. But what it was, it used to sell things like razor blades, oxo cubes, those sort of things, and coffee, tea bags, all not tea bags, all its dry tea and all them sorts of things. Yeah. So we used to break in there and nick razor blades. That was the thing. So nick the packets of razor blades, worth a lot of money. Get big box of those. Worth money, £10, £5, but it's a lot of money. £5, £10, yeah. But I used to earn a lot of money. As a kid, I used to break in all the time into these places, and the securities used to try and catch us and couldn't catch us. We had it all sorted out, yeah. Like proper little gangster little firm, about 8 of us running around nicking at night time, always nicking the lights and they never had no cameras there. There wasn't no cameras, so you could get away with so much. But a couple of these security officers would hide behind lorries and all that, and we'd suss them out, you know what I mean? We'd suss them out, go by, walk away, how you going away? Sort of pouncing behind him, ooh, and they still love it, man. And like when you work in the daytime, you start when they start in the morning about 4 or 5, the porters, and they're there till 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock maybe, delivering all the stuff in the market, and they're the ones. I mean, they're the ones. There's maybe I don't know, a lot, yeah. They're the ones that the fighters. I mean, I used to love getting involved with Colin Cracknell. I mean, he taught me to fight. We was always one bag glove, one boxing glove each hand, and they fight all the time. And he walked around the market with all bouncing about. I got to learn how to bounce about. And but when you meet people like the Welleses, you've got Arthur Wells, Charlie Wells, Billy Wells, Tommy Wells. There was there was so many of them. There was so much. There must have been 6 brothers, and they all worked in the market, and they was all like 6'6", 7 foot tall. Some of them, I don't know, massive people. All ex-fighters. I think the best one at the lot of them was George. He was the one that could really have it. Arthur was a dangerous one. Arthur, I mean, he just cut you to pieces. Arthur, but he was big. I mean, they was all big. Elfie was the one. Elfie was, yeah. Elfie was a bit bad. But we should stay well away from them. You know what I mean? don't go too near them. And I remember one day, they barely got hold of us, so they killed us. Yeah, it's a game you play. We went into a tea place called Alce's Tea Shop. Yeah, it's a tea shop inside. Everything in there was about rolls, yeah, sausage rolls, egg rolls, beef, all sorts of stuff, beef roll, pork rolls, any rolls you can get, nice, beautiful, big mug of tea, plenty of sugar, loved it. And what me and Johnny Wells done, me and John, and we broke a pepper, what do you call it? I forget it was called now. Some pepper that was really, I mean, bonnet, a Scotch bonnet. That's what it's called, a Scotch bonnet, right? Broke the Scotch bonnet and rubbed it round the cups when they weren't looking. Rubbed it round the cups on the trays. Just rubbed it around quick, about 3 or 4, and then number 2 or 3, and then sit down, and then you get the cups out, put the cup up, put the milk in, put the tea in. You get the greengrocers to sit at the table. You know, you get the flash phones. Go, there's a drink of tea. Fucking hell. burnt, burn them to death. They knew it was us. They'd have killed us, you know what I mean? And, you know, you had people like, you had mates like my Dirt Pierce. Dirt Pierce is a big guy. He never said nothing to no one. Very quiet, very powerful. And he's one a bad boxer. And he had words with me one day, and he took me to this club in Hamble Boxing Club, to go and train. We used to train in the mornings, and he used to take me around Gundry Park. Take me around there most mornings. We used to run around the park. It's about 2 or 3 miles around there. We used to do twice around the park, you know, and then go back to work. And I was stinking and sweating. Yeah, seriously. Go back to work and do a bit more. And I used to do it most mornings, training. And then I was to fight Colin Cracknell. And I learnt. And I became really, really good, yeah. A really good street fighter. Really good, honestly, unbelievable street fighter, mate. I could fight, you know what I mean? I learnt so much, yeah. And my mate, then I met a guy called Martin Worsfold. Martin Worsfold was about 5'10", 5'8", maybe 5'10". I think 5'10". Give me a couple of inches, you know what I mean. But Geese was big, man, big, powerful guy. And when I say big, 5'8", 5'9", about 15 stone, but muscular, mate. Muscular. This guy used to work on a potato company, big potato company. Now, all he used to do is potatoes, and he was massive, mate. The only people you did muck about with in that market were people on the potato growers, people that worked on potato companies. You didn't muck about with them, mate, because they was all big, powerful men. You want about picking up big 112 sacks of potatoes, put them on top of your head, running up ladders and stacking them really high, and then taking them down. Right, put them on their head and then put them on the listers or the barrows, and then take them to the greengrocers, and they're picking them up, like chucking them around like nothing, yeah. And then the sacks become nothing, and they started doing the bags of potatoes, 56-pound bags of potatoes, and they started losing the sacks were just going out the window. And the only time the sacks comes in when they was doing farm potatoes, yeah, certain farm potatoes. But when the sacks came, it was them sort of white sign sort of potatoes coming in. It was all become in the sacks, and used to have competitions over the sacks. Yeah, who could press it? One hand press with one sack of potato, 56 pounds. How many times can you press it? I think Martin Worsfold done about 50. I'm not joking. 50 times with a sack of potatoes. The balance, you know what I mean? Walk, pressing it. Each hand, walk. Me, I think I've done about 25, something like that. I was only young, learning all the time, and we used to do a lot of them with the teeth, putting a sack of potatoes in the teeth, hold it at the end, and let's you see, do your neck and all that. Everybody, I swear, most of the greengrocers in there, the porters, I don't know about the porters, yeah, they had necks, massive necks, all like 22-inch necks, you know what I mean? Massive, where they're nutting things all the time, nutting them, and the next, the potato. Listen, then anything to do with potatoes, yeah, or orange companies, their necks were massive, where they was nutting all the time. Huge necks, yeah, really, really big necks. I worked on a firm called Hobbs's, yeah, in the food market, and they used to deal with apples, all apples, yeah. And mate, they had a couple of guys worked on their company, yeah. They used to take 3 big bushels of apples, bushel boxes, on about They might weigh 50, £60 each, them bushel boxes, yeah. Get them 3 or 4 on their shoulders, yeah, and walk along with them, holding them up there, walk with them, yeah. Walk with them to the lister, throw them on the lister, go back and get some mate. And when they stack these up, they stack them 12 high, 10 high, they pick them up, put them on, pick them up, put them on, and their arms are massive, their shoulders are huge, massive. But what I used to love, yeah, I used to love, without a shadow of doubt, I used to love the fights. You get fights in there every day. Every day you'd have a fight. Fight! It was me, Bobby Collins, Wacker Collins, Philip Collins, uh, Johnny Wells, Johnny Wells, his brother, John was his brother. His brother always gets hold of me. His brother was a good little porter as well. He always gets hold of me on my phone, podcasting. His brother, I'm Jelvin. I'm really, really bad, John, but John, really bad for names, yeah. But he always does it. But his brother John, I mean, me and Ray Wells. That's it, Raymond. All right, Raymond, there you go, mate. Ray Wells and Johnny Wells. Good. I mean, Ray was very young. John, he was a good fighter. John. He don't muck about Johnny Wells, mate. You know what I mean? And he had pigeons, yeah. He loved his pigeons better than he loved any woman. Swear. But there was what was the big brother's name? There was John, there was Ray, and there was Mickey. Mickey, is it Mickey? The big brother, he was quite rich. He had a massive house. Um, John was mad on pigeons. He just crazy. Listen, if you touch one of his pigeons, right, he'd kill you stone dead, and he could have it. My mate John, Johnny Wells could have it. Ray Wells, he was only young, but even he could have it. You know what I mean? We all stuck together. When you went down the clubs called the Boathouse, go down the club called the Boathouse, and the big Moy Bush on the door there. Or you go down the Castle, Richmond, Cheeky Pete's, all them sort of clubs. And we was the governors around there, you know what I mean? We was always the governors. And I remember Ray Wells telling me that I used to go to Twiggy. I used to go to Twiggy's sister. Twiggy, yeah, the mother. I used to go with her sister, yeah. And like I was all good looking kids. I was like long hair, long muscular, you know what I mean? And I was a bit of a woman's man, do you know what I mean? And I could pick. I was good at it, you know what I mean? And yeah, I was Twiggy's sister. No one could believe that I picked her up, Twiggy's sister. Yeah, I did. Yeah, yeah. And it's one of the things, isn't it? And anyway, I remember me and a guy called Terry Woods. I was working at Terry Woods on a company. Was it Dean's? Another Dean company, big Dean's there. And I worked with Terry Woods, and Terry was a blonde guy. He was like the best looking guy you could see. Terry Woods was the best looking guy you could see. Honestly, he was such a good looking guy. Get any bird he wanted. Always playing about. Always let him in crackle. He'd be jumping up, whoop, 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 hit him about 8 or 9 times, you know what I mean, and run away. Whoop, 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 hit him again and run away. There was always fighting. There was always fighting. And I remember what it was a Colin. Colin used to be a calf across the road. Colin used to never go inside the houses inside the market. He used to go across the road to a calf because there was a good sort in there. Yeah? And Colin was a bit of a ladies' man as well, yeah. And Colin was always pinching her bum, and she was always showing that to Colin, touching Colin, and this that and the other. But our old man worked in there. He was the governor of the calf, and he was warned Colin lots of times. Colin, don't do this. He was a Greek fella. Colin, don't do this. I kill you. I will stab you. Yeah, and he meant it. He meant it. And anyway, so I mean, a couple of times Colin's been quite lucky. He's got to stab Colin's hands. You know what I mean? And missed his hands. And Colin gone whoop, knocked his bark out. I see that a couple of times. Colin was a bit lively. Colin Crattle, I mean, I should really put him in one of my boxing things because he was an handful. Harry Holland, everybody knows Harry Holland, mate. Anybody into boxing knows Harry Holland. He became a promoter. he was Colin Crackle's right hand man in a way. Harry Honest come down the market. I mean, there's a lot of people used to come down at foot market. People you'd never ever, you go, you know what I mean. Famous people, and what used to make me laugh, that and in the afternoon, say like half 1, 2 o'clock, everyone's shutting the shop, and uh, and all the stuff that comes out of the stands, like tomatoes fall on the floor, potatoes, anything that falls on the floor, they sweep it out onto the cobble like roadway, roadway, what's like an angle, goes down like that, and the barrows run across it, and those to fall the tomatoes out there that have been squashed or bruised, all the grape, anything that's out there, oranges, apples, and you get these people that own cafes and restaurants that come round every day with big boxes, fill the boxes up with apples, oranges, pears, peach, anything they get, they put in the boxes and take it away, put it in the van, go to their cafe or go to their restaurant. I swear on my life. A couple of times Colin's gone into these cabs and said, listen, it's not, I know that stuff you've got has come off my floor. I know you better give me a breakfast for nothing as I'll grass you up. And he was always getting breakfast. Colin was a bully. Colin Crackle was a bully in there. He was a bully. He could be a bully if he wanted to be. The only time he wasn't a bully in there was when you got people like, what we used to do at Christmas, yeah? We used to do the trees, yeah? Christmas trees. Loads of travellers used to come in with the lorries, full up with Christmas trees. And they used to sell the Christmas trees, and we used to go and pick them up, put them in the barrows, and take them out to all the lorries and the vans were had to be put, yeah. And there was two guys that come in with the Christmas trees that you didn't muck about with, mate. There was both professional fighters. There was Les Stevens, heavyweight, and Johnny Frankham, light heavyweight. Yeah, they would come into the market with a big overcoats on, there's big scarves on, and a hats, yeah. And you didn't muck about with them Frankhams, mate. A big family of Frankhams, mate. Big family of Stevensons. Very dark people they were. Very dark in their skin, yeah. Like Indians, they look like, really. Very dark, but very powerful. All the travellers, and I said there must be about, 100 travellers in there, coming with their lorries, with all the Christmas trees on it. And I used to walk around with a barrow, shouting out, barrow up, anybody want a barrow up? All this shouting out, anybody want a barrow? All right, mate. And he put, how many trees you got, mate? 100 trees. I put 50 trees on a time, or 60 trees on a time, run it to the van and the lorry, to stack the trees up proper on the barrow. I mean, you don't realise how heavy the barrow is. The heavy is really bad, but it's the when you get it proper, it balances. Yeah, you can really run them. Yeah, you can run the barrow. They just call it runners, runners. And I learned a lot from Colin. Colin Crackle taught me how to stack them up and run them. And I was earning good money. I mean, I had good money. When the trees come, I was earning good money. You earn like in a day, because I earned £1 a day. And then, I'm on about then, was a lot of money in the 60s, in 60s, 60s, 68, 67, 69, all them, that time, yeah. And yeah, I loved it, mate. I loved it, you know what I mean? And even 65, 66, I was only young when I went in it, first of all. But learning all the time. And I remember both me and Colin, there were some guys that come in the market. Listen, mate, you get them in there. You always get someone in the market that's got to be over the top, yeah. Not travellers, that greengrocers, yeah. That are little bit flesh, come in the market, thinking they're big time Charlie potatoes. And I see Colin Cracknell, right, knock out two of these guys in split seconds. What? And these guys were massive. These guys were massive. These guys are massive. And Colin smashed them to pieces, mate. He'd give it to me big time, yeah. And I mean, I remember a guy in there called Jimmy Wilkinson. Him and Jimmy Wilkinson had a fight. I think Jimmy Wilkinson, he bashed up Wilkinson. Wilkinson jumps off a van or a lorry and bit Colin's ear off later on. and that's what happens in the market. There was always trouble in there. Every day you get a fight in the fruit market. Every day, without a shadow of a doubt, every day there'd be fights. People. I mean, there was people in there. Right, there's two brothers. Right, there's the old man, and the father and the mother used to come in the market, and they was very good friends with Colin Crattle, friends with Colin Crattle, and good friends with Terry Woods, and I got to know them a bit. And these people, their sons, these two boys, are worse than most people you know. Most gangsters you know, yeah, that are around have got big name, big companies, North London, East London, South London. These two brothers are more wicked than they could ever be. They've got a little company in Twickenham, around them areas, mate. You don't muck about with these two brothers, mate. They're like ninjas. And I remember them as kids. I remember them as kids coming in the fruit market with their mum and dad, yeah. And now they're like naughty boys, yeah. You couldn't muck about with them, mate. They would kill you stone dead. They're so dangerous. I ain't saying their names. They were so dangerous, yeah. So dangerous. But proper people, yeah. Proper people, mate. A lot of people out there know what I'm talking about. And you got, I mean, when I was when I was in the market, and we used to go down to lots of stalls, deliver stuff, and me and Colin used to load the lorries up with potatoes, all the veg, and deliver it to greengrocers shops. That was another job we used to do. Get paid well for that as well. I'd go and get 30 quid, 40 quid for delivering it with Colin. Colin would get a lot more, but and we used to do it all the time. We used to do it a lot, and good money. I used to love going out with Colin. I remember this time. One time we went down Covent Garden, and the old Covent Garden, not the new one, the old one, when it was in the streets and all that, not like it is now, 9 Elms. It was a big thing. And me and Colin went down there delivering potatoes to one of the stands down there. And Cutlass Porters got a bit leery, and they was talking. And Colin was telling them to behave himself. And they were saying, "Who the fuck are you then? Who do you think you are?" Colin Cratnell. Who do you think you are, Colin Cratnell? It was Colin. He said, "Yeah, mate." He said, "I'm Colin Cratnell." When he kissed his arse, I thought, "Why?" He was well respected, Colin. He really was. I mean, they was petrified of him. He could really have it. I look up to Colin. I did. I mean, me and Colin had a fight in the town hall, and I bashed him up. But it was later on in years when I come out of prison. Yeah, it had to be done, and I've always wanted Colin because Colin could always bash me up when I was young, and I held a grudge in a way. So when I come out of prison, he used to come visit me. He visited me in my YP in Mickinall. Stevie, that's it, Stevie Nall. Mick Stevie was an Aikido. Mickey and Steve used to come visit me, and we Colin Cratnell. 3 or 4 of them used to come visit me and bring me up bits of fruit and visit. I used to eat them and visit and all that. But I mean, when I come out, I mean, I remember on visits, getting myself really fit. I'm always powerlifting in there. And I say to Colin, one day, I'm going to come out of these places, I want me and you going to have it, yeah? I'm training for you, yeah? He go, "Mate, you couldn't do nothing, son. You got no chance. Forget about that, yeah? Don't even go away. You get really hurt. Okay, I used to get hurt anyway. I used to get hurt when I was to fight mini Boston defence, you know what I mean? So one day, I come out, I was in my big prison, and I had my own promotions in Acton Town Hall, and then it hit me. I said, "Do you know what? It's about time that me and Colin Cratnell." I had one fight at Acton Town. The first fight I had, it was a full house. It was an unlicensed fighting, you know, and we had it in there, and it was a sellout. The whole place was a sellout, and I thought this guy knocked him out in the first round. Some good fights in there. Columbo, was Chippendales. There was a lot of fighters in there. Like Mickey May. There was loads of fighters in there, and good night. We had about eight to 10 fights in there. It was good night, yeah. Lots of people I know from all over South London because I was over there before. Louis Shaw and them manners. And the second time, I thought, yes, it's got to happen now. I've got to fight Colin Cratnell, and I put all flyers out. And I got hold of Colin. I said, "Listen, Colin, do you fancy fighting me?" He went, "Yeah, okay, no problem, mate." So what I done, I'll give him X amount of tickets. I said, "Look, you sell all them tickets. That's your money for the fight. All right, do you fancy it?" He went, "Yeah." He sold every ticket. I was gutted. He had much more than what I did, but it was a full house, you know. I mean, I liked it, and and it happened, and he come out, and I've got to say, he hit me on the chin. He rocked me. Yeah, he really rocked me. Yeah, and I